What are some dumb purchases you made?
Lifetime Mega Video subscription. It was shut down shortly afterwards for copyright infringement. So many unnecessary things early on in college. It was the first time I had some kind of income from working a part-time job, so I thought it was absolutely necessary to buy all my textbooks instead of renting them or finding them online for free. I also spent a fuckton on dorm room stuff, which hardly anyone was going to see or care about since the dorms came furnished anyway. Lessons learned: I definitely pass on that advice to anyone going into college in the US.
Spent over $100 or more buying clothes for my avatar on a virtual reality game when I could have spent it on, actual clothes.
A house in 2007, it's still not worth as much as we paid for it.
Not me, but my mom. She surprised me with a pair of fancy basketball shoes for my birthday, even though I'd never expressed any interest in such a thing, and I was neither cool nor athletic. I brought them to scout camp a few weeks later and lost one of them in the mud. They were original, size 11 Air Jordans. In 1984 or 1985.
I've bought a lot of how to kids books. Like how to knit, how to calligraphy, how to paint, how to write poetry, etc. Have I learned how to do a single one of those things? No, I have not. Edit, while thanks, but I am aware of the existence of YouTube, Google, and libraries. That would be why I'm saying they are dumb purchases, lol.
Bought $50 worth of Beanie Babies because I thought they'd be worth something.
I traded a rather rare volume into a local used bookstore because I had 2 of them. Then went back to the bookstore a month later and excitedly bought my own book back because it was rare and I didn't think I owned it. I was wrong.
I commissioned an artist to paint a portrait of my then girlfriend's dying pet rat. She had told me her rat was about to die a month before I got it. By the time it was ready, the relationship had ended and I didn't know what to do with it. I paid $90 for it and it was absolutely worth the price. Artist did an amazing job, I just didn't have anyone to give it to now. I ended up giving it to her anyway. I regret doing that since I probably just made her feel guilty. Thing is, I was fully aware we were about to break up. I just liked her so much and I was totally alone in a new state. I didn't think I was good enough to earn her love, so I tried to buy it. Real dumb.
I bought an umbrella on a rainy day once from a cheap corner store that seemed like it was a hidden drug operation or something, and it broke that very day. I bought books when I was in first semester, later realized that I could have read online. So sold them after the semester.
Airplane Wi-Fi. So I could be browsing askReddit right now.
Deciding to go to grad school in 2012 to 5 years after graduating for no other reason than I have no clue what to do with my life.
This kills me every time I remember it, and it's honestly made me into the extreme money saver I am today. When I was younger, my family visited Niagara Falls. I had $50, which is a lot for a kid with no job, and was excited to buy some souvenirs. I spent it all on keychains. I only got like 6 of them, which made it to $50. They were all of the same place, too. It's not like they were from different cities. I wasted all the money I owned on freaking keychains. Who even uses those? It haunts me to this day.
When I was 17, I had unknowingly saved up a lot, $2,000 from work. I chose to spend this on a double-neck guitar. I once spent $15 on a Postmates order for ice cream.
Getting home drunk and spending $15 on the Animal Crossing app. This has happened 3 times.
Accidentally bought stuff in Clash of Clans. Twice.
An ex broke up with me. She was the first person I dated and didn't really know how to navigate the breakup, so I bought her a really thoughtful gift for her birthday a month later. What a waste of money and time looking back on it.
Those claw covers for cats to stop them from scratching up your furniture. They were ripped off the next day. He was gnawing at his little feet until everyone was gone.
I thought I was buying a vintage Polaroid camera, but when it arrived I realized it was a giant poster with a small picture of the camera in the center.
I had accidentally doubled my dose of pain meds right before I went to go see a showing of the film Drive. On my walk home I ordered a pair of what I thought was the gloves Ryan Gosling's character wears in the film. A week later I got them in the mail and realized they were 3 sizes too big and an entirely different color. $160 down the toilet. That night I took my Ambien and apparently decided to try again after staying on the computer after my sleep meds had kicked in. I bought the same pair of gloves.
I bought several sign language books because I wanted to make friends with a deaf kid at my school. I ended up learning a tiny amount before discovering he was a total creep who wouldn't stop staring at my feet.
I'm usually pretty conservative with my spending, but I have bipolar disorder and sometimes when I am manic I go a little nuts with dumb purchases. My 2 worst are probably a top-of-the-line spin bike, which I had never tried before, for about $1,000 and I resold for $300 once I was out of the episode, and I also convinced myself to join a hockey league. I spent $1,200 on skates, pads, gloves, stick and helmet. I have never skated and I still haven't. All the gear is in the back of my closet and I cringe whenever I stumble across it.
Reddit coins.
I bought an $80 pen one time. Edit, I was about 8 years old, and was driving to Florida from NY with my dad and sisters. My dad is super showy, and I have no idea where he got the money, so at a rest stop, he handed us each a $100 bill and said, "Get whatever you want." So I bought the pen for $80. He was not happy when I got back to the car. Edit, my father and I don't get along, and one of the reasons is he throws money at everything instead of actually solving the problem. So this was basically just to keep 3 little girls quiet during a 19-hour drive. It was pretty typical of him. Edit, I'm 33 and no longer have the pen. IDK what happened to it over the years, but I hope someone who loves pens found it and gave it a nice life.
Bought a onesie for my Great Dane. Don't know why I bought it, but I think he liked it.
My first time in Germany, I was only there for a few months, so I thought, I don't need a Bahn card, I'm not here for a full year. Then I spent well over €1,000 on train tickets. The whole time I could have been saving 50% and collecting loyalty points. Bought a motorcycle from somebody that didn't properly take care of it. There were a few small warning signs, but I just let the fact it was the specific model I was looking for, in my price range, with things I could easily fix, cloud my judgment. Basically anything he touched on the bike I have had to replace, or more accurately, pay a shop to replace, because I don't have a garage or really the time, energy to do much of the work on it myself. It was a little bit cheap, and came with a bunch of spare parts, but I really wish I'd held out longer and paid a bit more for one that had been better looked after, because it would have probably worked out to be cheaper and less hassle to boot. But I live in a pretty small market and was after a specific model, so it might have been 6 to 8 months. Altogether the expense hasn't ruined me, I bought it to sorta celebrate getting back into full-time, salaried work. It has definitely made me enjoy the bike a lot less than I have previous ones. I will definitely vet the PO of my vehicles more thoroughly in the future, have just been pretty lucky until now I suppose. * he did sorta try, which is the problem.
I bought a faceless doll to scare people. Turns out I was the most scared one.
A cactus that lights up.
My partner went out to buy vegetables for dinner and came home with a kayak. He forgot the vegetables and the kayak has never been used.
Consider subscribing.